Maya was 12 years old when she found the strange key in her grandmother's attic, and she had no idea that this small piece of metal would change her life forever. It was a rainy Saturday afternoon, and Maya was bored because the power had gone out in the old farmhouse where she was spending her summer vacation. Her parents had sent her to stay with Grandma Rose while they traveled for work, and at first Maya had been very unhappy about this arrangement because she wanted to stay in the city with her friends. But Grandma Rose was not like other grandmothers. She told the most wonderful stories about magical lands and brave heroes, and she always had fresh cookies waiting on the kitchen table whenever Maya came downstairs in the morning. On this particular rainy day, Maya decided to explore the attic because she had nothing else to do. Grandma Rose had gone to the market in town and would not be back for several hours, so Maya had the whole house to herself. The attic was dusty and dark, filled with old furniture covered in white sheets that looked like ghosts in the dim light. Maya felt a little scared, but also excited as she moved through the shadows, her flashlight cutting through the darkness like a sword. She found many interesting things up there: old photographs in wooden frames, fancy dresses from long ago, books with yellowed pages, and boxes filled with mysterious objects that she could not identify. But it was the small wooden chest hidden behind an old mirror that caught her attention the most. The chest was beautiful. It was made of dark wood and had strange symbols carved into its surface, symbols that Maya had never seen before, but that seemed somehow familiar. When she touched the chest, she felt a warmth spread through her fingers, almost as if the wood was alive. Maya tried to open the chest, but it was locked. She looked around for a key, but could not find one anywhere. So she decided to take the chest downstairs and ask Grandma Rose about it later. As she lifted the chest, something fell out from a crack in the bottom. It was a key, small and silver, with the same strange symbols that were carved on the chest. Maya picked it up and felt that same warmth in her hand, and she knew, without understanding how she knew, that this key was very special indeed. She put the key into the lock on the chest and turned it. There was a soft click, and the lid slowly opened by itself, revealing what was inside. Maya gasped in surprise. Inside the chest was not treasure or jewels or anything she had expected. Instead, there was a single sheet of paper, old and fragile, with writing on it in faded ink. Maya picked it up carefully and tried to read it, but the words were in a language she did not understand. Along with the paper, there was another key. This key was much larger than the silver one, and it was made of a metal that seemed to glow with a soft golden light. Maya had never seen anything like it before. She held the golden key up to her flashlight and examined it closely. There were more of those strange symbols on it, and when she turned the key in her hand, the symbols seemed to move and dance. Was she imagining things, or was this key truly magical? Maya put the paper and the golden key in her pocket and went back downstairs. She had so many questions, and she hoped that Grandma Rose would be able to answer them when she returned. But Maya was too curious to wait. She walked through the old farmhouse, looking at everything with new eyes. What other secrets was this house hiding, and why had no one ever told her about the chest in the attic? As she walked past the library, she noticed something strange. One of the bookshelves was not quite straight, and there seemed to be a gap behind it. Maya had walked past this bookshelf many times before, but she had never noticed this. She pushed against the bookshelf, and to her amazement it moved. It swung open like a door, revealing a dark passage behind it. Maya's heart was beating so fast that she could hear it in her ears. Should she go in, or should she wait for Grandma Rose? The sensible part of her brain told her to wait, but the curious part wanted to explore right now. What if this passage led to something amazing, something that would explain the mysterious key in her pocket? Maya made her decision. She turned on her flashlight and stepped into the dark passage. her hand gripping the golden key tightly. The passage was narrow, and the air was cold and musty, but she kept walking forward because she had to know what was at the end. The passage went on for what felt like a very long time. Maya counted her steps to keep herself calm. 100, 200, 300. The walls were made of old stone, and she could see strange marks on them that looked like the symbols on the key. Finally, she reached the end of the passage and found herself standing in front of a large wooden door. The door was very old and very tall, and in the center of it was a golden lock that matched the key in her hand exactly. Maya knew what she had to do. She put the golden key into the lock and turned it. There was a loud sound like thunder, and the door began to open slowly, revealing a bright light on the other side. Maya stepped forward into the light, not knowing that she was about to enter a world beyond her wildest dreams. When her eyes adjusted to the brightness, Maya could not believe what she was seeing. She was standing at the edge of a vast forest, but this was not like any forest she had ever seen before. The trees had silver leaves that sparkled in the sunlight, and the flowers were colors that she did not even have names for. Birds with rainbow feathers flew through the air, singing songs that sounded like bells, and in the distance, Maya could see mountains that touched the clouds and a river that seemed to be made of liquid crystal. Where was she, and how could such a place exist behind her grandmother's bookshelf? Maya stood there in wonder, the golden key still in her hand, knowing that her summer vacation had just become the greatest adventure of her life. But as she stood there amazed by the beauty around her, she did not notice the figure watching her from behind the silver trees. Someone had been waiting for the door to open, and now that it had, everything was about to change. Maya walked slowly into the magical forest, her eyes wide with wonder as she looked at all the amazing things around her. The ground beneath her feet was covered with soft grass that seemed to glow with a gentle green light, and tiny flowers opened their petals as she passed by. She reached out to touch one of the silver trees, and when her fingers touched the bark, she heard a soft humming sound. It was almost like the tree was singing to her, welcoming her to this strange new world. Maya laughed with joy, because she had never experienced anything so wonderful. All her life, she had read about magical places in her books, and now she was actually standing in one. This was better than any story she had ever heard. She walked deeper into the forest, following a path made of white stones that seemed to know exactly where she wanted to go. The path curved through the trees and over small streams of crystal-clear water. And everywhere Maya looked, she saw something new and amazing. She saw a group of small creatures that looked like rabbits, but had wings like butterflies. They hopped through the air, leaving trails of sparkles behind them. She saw flowers that sang songs when the wind blew through them. She saw stones that changed color when she picked them up. Maya was so busy looking at everything that she did not notice she was being followed. But suddenly, she heard a sound behind her, and she turned around quickly, her heart jumping with fear. Standing on the path was a boy who looked about her age. He had dark hair and bright green eyes, and he was wearing clothes made of leaves and vines. He looked at Maya with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. "Who are you, and how did you get here?" the boy asked. His voice was not unfriendly, but it was clear that he wanted answers. Maya held up the golden key that was still in her hand. "I found this key in my grandmother's house, and it opened a door that led me here. My name is Maya, and I am from the other world." The boy's eyes went wide when he saw the key. "That is the key of passage," he said in a voice full of surprise. "We thought it was lost forever. How did your grandmother come to have it?" Maya shook her head because she did not know the answer. "I found it hidden in the attic. I have so many questions, and I do not understand what is happening. Where am I, and what is this place?" The boy looked at her for a long moment, as if trying to decide whether to trust her. Finally, he nodded and stepped closer. My name is Finn, and this is the Kingdom of Everlight. It is a world that exists alongside your world, hidden from human eyes. Only those with the key of passage can open the door between our worlds. Maya listened carefully as Finn explained. He told her that long ago, humans and the people of Everlight had lived together as friends. They had shared knowledge and helped each other, and there had been peace between the two worlds. But then something terrible had happened. A great darkness had come to Everlight, a shadow that wanted to destroy all the light and beauty in the kingdom. The humans had helped fight against this darkness, and together they had won. But the cost had been very high. The leaders of Everlight had decided that it was too dangerous to keep the door between worlds open. They had closed it and hidden the key of passage in the human world, hoping that it would be safe there until it was needed again. But why would it be needed again? Maya asked. You said the darkness was defeated. Finn's face became sad. We thought it was, but we were wrong. The darkness was only sleeping, and now it is waking up again. Strange things have been happening all over Everlight, and people are scared. The elders say that the darkness will return soon, stronger than before. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. But what does this have to do with me? I am just a regular girl from the human world. I cannot fight against darkness. Finn shook his head. You do not understand. The fact that you found the key means something. The key chooses its keeper, and it does not make mistakes. If it came to you, then you have a part to play in what is coming. Maya did not know what to say. This was all too much to take in. Just an hour ago she had been a bored girl exploring her grandmother's attic, and now she was being told that she was chosen to help fight against darkness. I need to go back, Maya said. My grandmother will worry about me if I am gone too long. She does not know where I am. Finn nodded with understanding. You can return whenever you wish. The door will always open for you as long as you have the key. But Maya, please come back. We need your help, even if you do not believe it yet. Maya looked at Finn and saw that he was serious. Whatever was happening in this world, it was real and it was dangerous. Could she really just go home and forget about everything she had seen? I will come back, she said finally. I promise. But first I need to talk to my grandmother. I think she knows more about all of this than I realized. Finn smiled, and his whole face lit up. Thank you, Maya. I knew you were brave when I saw you walk through that door without fear. Meet me at this spot tomorrow, and I will take you to the Elder Council. They will want to meet the new keeper of the key. Maya said goodbye to Finn and walked back along the white stone path. She found the door easily because it seemed to call to her, and when she stepped through it, she was back in the dark passage behind her grandmother's bookshelf. She walked through the passage and pushed the bookshelf closed behind her. Just as she was doing this, she heard the front door of the farmhouse open. Grandma Rose was home. Maya ran to meet her grandmother, her mind full of questions. She found Grandma Rose in the kitchen, putting away groceries, and she noticed that her grandmother looked tired and worried. Grandma, I need to ask you something, Maya said. I found a chest in the attic today, and inside it was a key. When I used the key, it opened a door to another world. Do you know anything about this? Grandma Rose stopped what she was doing and looked at Maya with an expression of shock and fear. You found the key, she whispered. Oh, my dear child, I was hoping this day would never come. But if you have found the key, then there is so much I need to tell you. She sat down at the kitchen table and motioned for Maya to sit beside her. Maya, there are things about our family that you do not know, things that I have kept secret for many years. But now that the key has chosen you, you deserve to know the truth. Maya sat down and took her grandmother's hand. Tell me everything, Grandma. I am not afraid. I want to know the truth about who I am and what all of this means. Grandma Rose took a deep breath. It is a long story, my dear, but I will tell you everything. It all started many years ago, when I was just about your age, and I found the very same key that you hold now." Maya stared at her grandmother in amazement. Grandma Rose had been to Everlight too, and she had never said a word about it. "You must have so many questions," Grandma Rose said softly, "and I do not blame you for being confused. I should have told you about this long ago, but I was trying to protect you. I never wanted you to carry this burden." Maya squeezed her grandmother's hand. "Please tell me everything, Grandma. I need to understand what is happening and why the key chose me." Grandma Rose nodded and began her story. "When I was 12 years old, just like you are now, I found the key hidden in this very house. My grandmother had been its keeper before me, and her mother before her. The key has been passed down through our family for many generations." She explained that their family had a special connection to the kingdom of Everlight. Long ago, one of their ancestors had been a great hero who helped save Everlight from the darkness. As a reward, her family was given the honor of guarding the key of passage. "I was young and foolish when I first entered Everlight," Grandma Rose continued. "I thought it was all just a wonderful adventure, a magical world where I could escape from my ordinary life. But I soon learned that being the keeper of the key was a great responsibility." She told Maya about her own adventures in Everlight. She had made friends there, including a young princess named Alara, who was brave and kind. Together they had explored the silver forests, and climbed the crystal mountains, and swam in the rivers of light. But then the darkness began to stir. Strange shadows appeared at the edges of the kingdom, and people started disappearing without a trace. The king and queen asked Grandma Rose to help them find out what was happening. "I discovered that the darkness had not been destroyed in the great battle all those years ago," Grandma Rose said. "It had only been trapped, locked away in a prison of light. But the prison was weakening, and soon the darkness would break free." Maya listened with wide eyes as her grandmother described the terrible fight that followed. The people of Everlight had gathered their courage and faced the darkness again, and this time Grandma Rose had fought alongside them. "We managed to strengthen the prison," Grandma Rose said, "but we knew it would not hold forever. The darkness is patient, and it never stops trying to escape. Every generation, the prison grows weaker, and someone must renew it." She looked at Maya with tears in her eyes. "I had hoped the prison would hold for many more years. I wanted you to have a normal childhood without knowing about any of this. But if you have found the key, and if you have already visited Everlight, then the time must be near." Maya felt scared, but she also felt something else. She felt brave. She looked at her grandmother and said, "Tell me what I need to do, Grandma. If our family has been protecting Everlight all this time, then I want to help too." Grandma Rose smiled through her tears. "You are so much like me when I was young, Maya. Brave and eager and full of hope. But you must understand that this will be dangerous. The darkness is very powerful, and it will try to stop you." She stood up and walked to an old wooden cabinet in the corner of the kitchen. She opened it and pulled out a small box that Maya had never seen before. Inside the box was a beautiful necklace with a glowing white stone. "This is the Heart of Light," Grandma Rose said as she placed the necklace around Maya's neck. "It was given to me by Queen Alara, my old friend who is now the ruler of Everlight. It will protect you from the darkness and help you find your way when you are lost." Maya touched the stone and felt warmth spread through her body. She could feel the necklace pulsing gently against her chest, like a second heartbeat. "Tomorrow you must return to Everlight," Grandma Rose said. "You must meet with the Elder Council and learn everything you can about the darkness and how to stop it. Finn will guide you, and the Heart of Light will protect you." Maya nodded. "But Grandma, will you come with me? You know so much about Everlight, and I would feel better if you were there." Grandma Rose shook her head sadly. "I am too old now, my dear. The journey through the door takes much energy, and I do not have the strength for it anymore. But I will be with you in spirit, and I will be here waiting for you when you return." That night, Maya could not sleep. She lay in her bed looking at the ceiling, thinking about everything she had learned. Her whole life had changed in just one day, and tomorrow it would change even more. She thought about Finn waiting for her in Everlight. He seemed nice, and she was glad she would have a friend in that strange world. She wondered what the Elder Council would be like, and what they would tell her about the darkness. She thought about her parents traveling far away, not knowing that their daughter was about to go on the most dangerous adventure of her life. Should she try to contact them and tell them what was happening, or would they just think she was making up stories? Maya decided not to worry about that now. She had too many other things to think about. She held the Heart of Light in her hand and whispered, "Please help me be brave. Please help me save Everlight." The stone glowed brighter for a moment, as if answering her prayer. The next morning, Maya woke up early and ate breakfast with Grandma Rose. Her grandmother gave her a bag packed with supplies, food and water, a warm blanket, a small knife, and a notebook to write down important things. "Be careful, my darling," Grandma Rose said as she hugged Maya tightly. "Trust your heart, and trust your friends. The light in you is stronger than you know, and it will guide you when you need it most." Maya hugged her grandmother back. "I love you, Grandma. I will make you proud, I promise." She walked to the library and pushed open the bookshelf. The dark passage was waiting for her, and at the end of it, the golden door. She took a deep breath and started walking. When she stepped through the door into Everlight, the world was just as beautiful as she remembered. But this time, Maya looked at it differently. She was not just a visitor anymore. She was the keeper of the key, and she had a mission to complete. Finn was waiting for her on the white stone path, just as he had promised. He smiled when he saw her, and waved. "Maya, you came back. I was afraid you might change your mind." Maya shook her head. "My grandmother told me everything about our family and about the darkness. I know what I need to do, and I am ready to learn more. Take me to the Elder Council, Finn. It is time for me to understand my destiny." Finn nodded with respect. "Follow me, Maya. The Elder Council is waiting for you, and they have much to tell you. But I must warn you, the path ahead will not be easy. Are you sure you are ready for this?" Maya touched the Heart of Light around her neck and felt its warmth. "I am ready," she said. "Let us go." And together they walked deeper into the kingdom of Everlight, toward the great palace where the Elder Council waited, with secrets that would change everything Maya thought she knew. The journey to the Elder Council took Maya and Finn through the most beautiful parts of Everlight. They walked through meadows filled with flowers that whispered secrets, crossed bridges made of solid rainbows, and climbed hills that offered views of the entire magical kingdom. But Maya noticed something troubling as they traveled. Here and there, she saw patches of gray among all the colors. Some flowers were wilting, some trees had lost their silver leaves, and some streams had stopped flowing. "What is happening to these places?" Maya asked Finn. "They look sick and sad." Finn's face grew serious. "The darkness is growing stronger every day. Its shadow is spreading across our land, stealing the light and life from everything it touches. This is why we need your help so urgently." Maya felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She was just a 12-year-old girl, and yet an entire kingdom was counting on her. Could she really do what they were asking? Finally, they reached the great palace. It was the most amazing building Maya had ever seen. It was made of white crystal that sparkled in the sunlight, with towers that reached up to touch the clouds. Gardens surrounded it on all sides, filled with plants that glowed and hummed with magic. Guards in silver armor stood at the entrance. They bowed to Finn and looked at Maya with curiosity. "The keeper has arrived," one of them announced. The Elder Council will be pleased. They walked through the palace halls, which were lined with paintings and statues that seemed to move when Maya was not looking directly at them. Servants rushed about, carrying trays of food and stacks of papers, and everyone stopped to stare at Maya as she passed. At last, they came to a great room with a high ceiling and a long table. Seated around the table were 7 old people in robes of different colors. They looked wise and powerful, and Maya felt a little nervous as all their eyes turned to her. "Welcome, Maya, keeper of the Key of Passage," said the eldest of them, an old woman with white hair and kind blue eyes. "I am Elder Miriam, head of the council. We have been waiting for you." Maya bowed politely. "Thank you for meeting with me. My grandmother told me about the darkness and about my family's duty to protect Everlight. I want to help, but I do not know what I am supposed to do." Elder Miriam smiled gently. "You have a brave heart, child. That is the most important thing. Please, sit down, and we will explain everything." Maya sat in a chair that seemed to adjust itself perfectly to her size. Finn stood behind her, and she was glad to have him nearby. The elders took turns speaking. They told Maya about the history of the darkness, how it had come from a place beyond the stars, how it had nearly destroyed Everlight in the ancient times, and how the first keeper had helped trap it in a prison of pure light. The prison was built using 3 sacred objects, Elder Miriam explained. The Key of Passage, which you carry, the Heart of Light, which hangs around your neck, and the Star of Everlight, which rests in a secret location. She told Maya that these 3 objects together had the power to renew the prison and keep the darkness trapped for another 100 years. But the objects had to be brought together by someone pure of heart, someone chosen by the key itself. "You are the chosen one, Maya," another elder said. "Only you can complete this task." Maya swallowed hard. "What do I need to do exactly?" Elder Miriam stood and walked to a large map on the wall. She pointed to different locations as she spoke. "The Star of Everlight is hidden in the crystal caves on the other side of the kingdom. You must journey there, retrieve the star, and bring it back to the heart of the realm where the prison is located." "But the journey will be dangerous," warned an elder in a red robe. "The darkness knows you are here, and it will send its servants to stop you. Shadow creatures, twisted beasts, and worse things lurk in the dark corners of our world." Maya felt fear rise in her chest, but she pushed it down. "I understand the danger, but I have to try. I will not let Everlight fall to darkness. Tell me when I should leave." The elders looked at each other with respect. "You have more courage than many who are twice your age," Elder Miriam said, "but you will not go alone. Finn will accompany you, and we will give you weapons and supplies for the journey." She clapped her hands, and servants came forward carrying things: a beautiful sword in a silver scabbard, a shield decorated with stars, a warm cloak that could change colors to match the surroundings, and a pouch of magic food that would never run out. "These belonged to your grandmother when she was young," Elder Miriam said. "She left them here when she returned to your world. Now they belong to you." Maya strapped on the sword and shield. They felt strangely familiar in her hands, as if they recognized her. She put on the cloak and immediately felt safer and warmer. "One more thing," Elder Miriam said. She reached into her robe and pulled out a small silver whistle. "If you are ever in great danger, blow this whistle. Help will come, no matter where you are." Maya tucked the whistle safely in her pocket. "Thank you all for everything. I will do my best to save Everlight. I promise." Elder Miriam placed her hands on Maya's shoulders. "I knew your grandmother when she was young, and I see the same light in you. Trust yourself, Maya. You are stronger than you know." That night, Maya slept in a beautiful room in the palace, but her sleep was troubled by strange dreams. She dreamed of shadows chasing her through dark forests, of red eyes watching her from the darkness, and of a voice whispering her name with cold malice. She woke up suddenly in the middle of the night, her heart pounding. The heart of light around her neck was glowing brightly, as if warning her of danger. Maya got out of bed and walked to the window. Outside, she could see the gardens of the palace, bathed in moonlight. Everything looked peaceful, but she could not shake the feeling that something was wrong. Then she saw it, a dark shape moving through the gardens, slipping from shadow to shadow. It was tall and thin, with eyes that glowed like red coals. It was looking up at the palace, looking right at her window. Maya jumped back from the window, her heart racing. The darkness had sent its servant, and it had found her already. Tomorrow's journey had just become even more dangerous. She did not sleep for the rest of the night. She sat on her bed with her sword across her knees, watching the window and waiting for dawn. When the first light finally came, she was tired but determined. Finn knocked on her door early in the morning. "Are you ready, Maya? The journey to the crystal caves will take 3 days. We should leave as soon as possible." Maya opened the door and looked at her friend. "I saw something in the gardens last night, Finn. A shadow creature watching the palace. The darkness knows I am here." Finn's face became serious. "Then we have no time to lose. Come on, Maya. Our adventure begins now." Maya and Finn set out from the palace as the sun rose over Everlight. They walked quickly through the silver forests, always watching for danger. The shadow creature Maya had seen was surely following them somewhere in the darkness. For the first day, their journey was peaceful. They passed through villages where kind people gave them food and wished them luck. Children ran alongside them, asking questions about the human world, and Maya felt like a hero from one of her favorite stories. But on the second day, everything changed. They entered a part of the forest where the trees were gray and dying, where no birds sang and no flowers bloomed. The shadow of the darkness had touched this place, and it felt cold and empty. "We must be careful now," Finn whispered. "The shadow creatures hunt in places like this." They had not walked far when Maya heard something moving in the trees. She drew her sword and turned around just in time to see 3 shadow creatures leaping toward them. The creatures were horrible to look at. They were made of pure darkness, with glowing red eyes and claws like knives. They moved faster than anything Maya had ever seen. But Maya was ready. She raised her sword and felt it grow warm in her hand. Light burst from the blade, cutting through the first creature like a knife through butter. The shadow screamed and dissolved into nothing. Finn fought beside her with his own weapons. Together they battled the remaining creatures, blocking claws and striking back with all their strength. Maya was scared, but she did not stop fighting. Finally, the last shadow creature fell, and silence returned to the forest. Maya was breathing hard, and her arms were tired, but she was alive. They had won their first battle. "That was amazing," Finn said with admiration. "You fight like you have been training your whole life." Maya looked at her sword in wonder. "I do not understand how I knew what to do. It was like the sword was guiding me, showing me where to strike." They continued their journey, more careful than before. They knew that the darkness would send more creatures, and each attack would be harder than the last. On the 3rd day, they reached the crystal caves. The entrance was a huge opening in the side of a mountain, and crystals of every color grew around it like a frame. It was beautiful, but also frightening. "The Star of Everlight is deep inside the caves," Finn said. "But be careful, Maya. The caves are full of tricks and traps. We must stay together." They entered the caves, and immediately Maya understood what Finn meant. The crystals reflected light in strange ways, creating confusing patterns and illusions. Paths seemed to appear and disappear, and sounds echoed from every direction. They walked for what felt like hours, following the light of the Heart of Light. The necklace guided them through the maze of tunnels, always pointing toward the star. Finally, they reached a large chamber in the heart of the caves, and there, floating in the center of the room, was the Star of Everlight. It was the most beautiful thing Maya had ever seen. It glowed with a pure white light that filled the whole chamber. It was warm and gentle and powerful all at once. Maya reached out to take it. "Stop right there, little keeper." The voice came from the shadows at the edge of the chamber. Maya spun around and saw a figure emerging from the darkness. It was tall and terrifying, a being of pure shadow, with burning red eyes and a cruel smile. "I am the Shadow Lord," the figure said, "servant of the darkness and destroyer of light. You have been brave to come this far, but your journey ends here." Maya held up her sword. "I am not afraid of you. I will take the star and save Everlight. You cannot stop me." The Shadow Lord laughed. "Foolish child, you do not understand the power you face. The darkness will consume this world, and there is nothing you can do to prevent it." He raised his hand and sent a bolt of dark energy flying toward Maya. She blocked it with her shield, but the force knocked her backward. This enemy was much stronger than the creatures in the forest. Finn tried to attack the Shadow Lord, but he was thrown aside with a wave of the creature's hand. He hit the wall and fell to the ground, unconscious. Maya was alone against the most powerful servant of the darkness. Fear gripped her heart, but she remembered the words of Elder Miriam. "Trust yourself. You are stronger than you know." She touched the heart of light around her neck and felt courage flowing into her. She thought of Grandma Rose, of Finn, of all the people of Everlight who were counting on her. She could not give up now. "You are wrong about me," Maya said. "I am the keeper of the key, the bearer of the heart, and I will be the savior of Everlight. My light is stronger than your darkness." She raised her sword and the heart of light together. White light burst from both of them, filling the chamber with brilliance. The Shadow Lord screamed in pain as the light touched him. "Impossible!" he shrieked. "You are just a child. How can you have such power?" Maya walked toward him, her light growing stronger with every step. "I have the power of love and hope and courage. I have the power of everyone who believes in me. Your darkness cannot defeat that." She struck with her sword, and the Shadow Lord exploded into a million pieces of shadow. The darkness that made him scattered and disappeared, and he was gone forever. Maya grabbed the Star of Everlight and ran to Finn. He was waking up, rubbing his head in confusion. "What happened?" he asked. "Is it over?" Maya helped him to his feet. "The Shadow Lord is destroyed, and I have the star. Now we must get to the heart of the realm and renew the prison before more darkness comes." They ran through the caves and out into the light of day. And there, waiting for them, was Queen Alara herself, with a dozen soldiers on flying horses. "Maya, you did it," the queen said with joy. "We felt the Shadow Lord's destruction from the palace. Climb on, and we will take you to the heart of the realm." They flew across Everlight on the magnificent horses, faster than Maya could have imagined. The wind rushed past her face, and below her the kingdom spread out like a colorful map. They landed at the heart of the realm, a sacred place where 3 ancient stones stood in a circle. This was where the prison of darkness was sealed, and Maya could feel the power humming in the air. Maya placed the key of passage on one stone, the heart of light on another, and the Star of Everlight on the third. As she did, the 3 objects began to glow brighter and brighter. Light shot up from each stone and joined together in the sky, forming a dome of pure radiance. Maya could feel the prison strengthening, the darkness being pushed back, the balance being restored. When it was over, Maya fell to her knees, exhausted but happy. She had done it. She had saved Everlight. Queen Alara helped her stand. "You have given us a great gift, Maya. The prison will hold for another 100 years. But remember, you are always welcome in Everlight, and you will always be our hero. Maya returned home through the golden door, back to her grandmother's farmhouse. Grandma Rose was waiting for her with tears of joy, and the biggest hug Maya had ever received. "I am so proud of you, my darling," Grandma Rose said. "You are a true hero." Maya smiled. "I learned everything from you, Grandma, and I will always be ready if Everlight needs me again." That summer was the best of Maya's life. She visited Everlight often, making new friends and having new adventures. She knew that darkness still existed somewhere out there, but she was not afraid. She was Maya, keeper of the key, and she would always protect the light.